Come on, come on. What'd you say, Diddy? You want a piece of Zeus? Come on, man. Let's go. We gonna make it happen.
Hey, yo, it's black content, man.
About to put my page on private on the dead homies. I got 24 hours to follow a before it's a secret society type thing going on. Schoolyard crib, Blueface home.
It's all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. All lies will be exposed.
See, that's why Diddy jacked your up that day. When we was at the party, he grabbed he grabbed Lemmy by his collar. It was like...
The moment that headline hit, everything changed. What sounded like just another piece of internet gossip suddenly took a sharper turn when Katt Williams stepped into the conversation, and people immediately started paying attention. Because when Katt talks, it's rarely random, it's layered, it's pointed, and it usually hints at something deeper. The idea of a $50 million deal tied to Chrisean Rock didn't just shock people. It confused them. What kind of deal? Who's behind it? And why does it seem connected to something so personal, her own child? That's where the tension really begins to build. Social media didn't just react. It exploded with theories, clips, and debates going back and forth. Some people believe there's truth hidden in what's being said, while others think it's another case of things being blown out of proportion for attention. But what makes this situation different is the emotional weight attached to it. This isn't just about fame or money anymore. This feels personal, complicated, and uncomfortable. And as more eyes lock onto the story, one question keeps getting louder. What's really going on behind the scenes? As the conversation continues to spiral online, the second wave of reactions doesn't calm anything down. In fact, it intensifies the mystery even more. What started as a single explosive headline has now turned into a full-blown internet debate, with clips being shared, edited, reinterpreted, and re-uploaded across every platform imaginable. Each version adding a slightly different layer of meaning to the story. In this part of the narrative, the focus shifts away from just shock value and moves deeper into speculation, as users begin trying to piece together what they believe Katt Williams may have been implying in the alleged comments circulating online. According to the way fans are interpreting the situation, the mention of a $50 million deal tied to Chrisean Rock is not being taken literally by everyone, but instead is being treated as a symbolic reference to larger industry conversations about fame, contracts, and the pressures that come with public life. At the same time, other viewers insist that the phrasing being shared suggests something far more serious, and that there may be unseen agreements or behind-the-scenes negotiations that the public was never meant to fully understand. As this divide grows, the narrative becomes less about facts and more about perception, with every new post adding fuel to an already burning discussion. The phrase "ruining son," which is being heavily circulated alongside the headline, has also become a major point of controversy, as audiences argue over whether it refers to literal accusations, emotional interpretation, or exaggerated storytelling designed to spark attention. Some online users claim that this part of the rumor is being misunderstood entirely, suggesting it could be metaphorical, possibly pointing toward the emotional toll of fame, relationships, or public scrutiny on family dynamics rather than any direct claim of harm. Others, however, are not convinced, and they continue to treat the phrase as evidence of something deeper and more troubling, pushing the discussion into even darker territory. As commentary builds, reaction videos begin to appear, each creator adding their own analysis, breaking down facial expressions, tone, and context from unrelated clips in an attempt to justify their interpretation of what was really meant. Meanwhile, supporters of Chrisean Rock push back strongly, arguing that the entire situation is being exaggerated and recycled in a way that unfairly targets her name for engagement and clicks. They point out how quickly narratives can be shaped online without confirmation, and how easily public figures can become the center of stories that evolve far beyond their original context. On the other side, Skeptics insist that where there is smoke, there is often fire, and they continue to demand clarity, calling for explanations that have not yet been provided. This back and forth creates a growing sense of tension, as both sides become more entrenched in their beliefs, refusing to step back or reconsider the possibility of misunderstanding. As the algorithm continues to push the story into new feeds, the discussion becomes less about truth and more about momentum, with each new viewer encountering a slightly different version of the narrative depending on where they first see it. In the middle of all this, the figure of Katt Williams remains central to the conversation, not because of any confirmed statement, but because of how his name has been attached to the unfolding rumor cycle, giving it a sense of authority in the eyes of some viewers. That association alone is enough to keep the topic alive, even as clarity remains absent. And so the situation continues to evolve in real time, shaped by interpretation, emotion, and digital amplification, leaving audiences locked in a constant loop of questions, assumptions, and uncertainty about what is real, what is exaggerated, and what has simply been lost in translation. By the time the story reaches its final stretch, the noise around it has almost completely taken over the original meaning, leaving behind a tangled mix of claims, reactions, and interpretations that no one seems able to fully separate anymore. What was once a single headline has now turned into a layered internet narrative that keeps shifting depending on who is telling it and who is watching it. In this closing phase, the focus is no longer just on what Katt Williams allegedly said or what Chrisean Rock is being linked to, but on how quickly a story can grow legs of its own in the digital space, moving far beyond its source. Clips continue to circulate, but each repost strips away more context, replacing it with captions designed to provoke emotion rather than clarify facts. At the same time, commentary channels and social pages push their own interpretations, framing the situation in ways that fit their audience's expectations, whether dramatic, skeptical, or defensive. This creates a cycle where every new version of the story feels more intense than the last, even if the actual information hasn't changed at all. Supporters argue that the narrative has been blown out of proportion and weaponized for engagement, pointing out how easily public figures become targets of speculation without solid proof. Others remain convinced that there is something beneath the surface that hasn't been fully explained, holding on to the idea that such a large and specific claim couldn't have emerged without some kind of underlying truth. Meanwhile, neutral observers find themselves caught in the middle, unsure what to believe as both sides present arguments with equal confidence, but without clear confirmation. As the discussion reaches its peak saturation online, the emotional tone of the conversation becomes just as important as the content itself, with frustration, curiosity, and disbelief all blending together in comment sections and reaction threads. And yet, despite all the noise, one thing becomes clear in this final moment of the narrative: the story is no longer just about the people involved, but about the nature of virality itself, how quickly perception can replace reality, and how a single headline can expand into something far larger than anyone originally intended. In the end, what remains is not a confirmed truth, but a fragmented collection of opinions, interpretations, and unanswered questions, leaving the audience still searching for clarity in a space where certainty is never guaranteed.